And welcome back to the Film Reelcast. As usual, I'm Stuart, your host. It's Jedi time. It's that time of the week. It's the Mandalorian. It's chapter 13. It's called The Jedi. And before we get into this, just a reminder, subscribe to this channel. Just press on that subscribe button, press on that bell, and you'll never miss an episode. I've got The Shield, I've got Cobra Kai Season 1 and 2, and obviously The Mandalorian, and other various film reviews. And before we get into this, just a reminder, this is a spoiler review. It's a reaction review. So what I'm doing is I'm just watching literally 5-10 minutes until something happens, and then it's just my instant reaction. I've not seen this before. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just my reaction. So often you'll see me get excited, overly excited, because I just love Star Wars. I've grown up with Star Wars. I saw the original Star Wars at the cinema. So it's something that's always had in my life. So it's just a review. I'm not the font of all knowledge. I may make mistakes, mispronounce galaxies, I don't know, characters, or not know who they are, or just get them wrong. For that I apologise. As I say, I'm just a fan. Okay, let's get on with episode 13, chapter 13, called The Jedi. So this has started off in a wooded area, and it's night time, and you hear this bell ringing, you see people running for cover. Then you go to the woods and you see these kind of troops out, and they're being taken out one by one. It's a really foggy area, as you can see there, and they're being taken out, and you instantly realise, as soon as you see the two lightsabers, that it's Ahsoka, a live action version of Ahsoka. I haven't seen this before, and it's really, really good. And the way she's taken them out, the visuals are fantastic. They're being stalked. She's meant to be the one who's being attacked. It's clearly tables turn time, and she is taking out these troops one by one. And then she faces this woman and this guy at the top of this tower. I don't know who they are. For that I apologise. I'm sure it will come out during the episode. And she wants to free the people of the town. And she wants this, and they're told that you have 24 hours by Ahsoka to give these people up, to give me what I want, or all of you will die. And this guy's put in a cage, and they say they're going to be ready for her within 24 hours to attack Ahsoka. So I don't know what's happening here, but the visuals, the fighting already is very good. It's really Star Wars universe. They've kept to this. They've maintained the atmosphere of Star Wars and the style of Star Wars as well, which is so important. So they've just landed on the planet Corvus. Remember, they're going to meet Ahsoka there. That's where they've been told to go. But on the journey on the way there, the child looks at this this knob on top of this gear lever, and he uses the Force to move it, and he keeps it on him. And when they land on Corvus, he's got it on him, and Mando finds it and takes it off him. And he puts it in his pocket. And whether this is going to come back into play later on, a bit of foreshadow, I really don't know. But there must be a reason as to why he's taken this and the need to have it. So Mando and the child have gone to the settlement that Ahsoka was at the day previous. So there's going to be a link there between both of them. I should imagine he'll find her. She'll tell him about the mission. And in order to get what he wants, he'll help her with the mission to free the villagers, or free all of them, or just that one individual who they put in the cage previously. But I think that's going to be the mission that Mando and the child are going to have to go on. So as Mando's walking in the settlement, everyone kind of started to disperse, and no one wanted to talk to him. Obviously he wants to know where to go, where to get food, and who to speak to. Now as he's doing that, two guards walk up behind him and say to him, the magistrate wants to see you. This is obviously the lady who's got beef with Ahsoka. So through communicating, Ahsoka says the child's name is Grogu, and he was raised at the Jedi Temple of Coruscant. As Mando walks towards the magistrate's palace, you can see left and right on the visuals there are people in these cages, electrified cages, that should they fall asleep or want to escape, they get electrocuted. And they're asking to be freed and asking for help. And it's clear that everyone who's inside this settlement is ruled by fear by the soldiers and by the magistrate in them, and that the guards aren't there possibly to protect people from the outside, but to keep people in and making them fear and scared of leaving. So you already notice once inside the garden of this magistrate, everything's green, it's lush, and it's nice and clean, and it's peaceful. It's clearly she's reaping the rewards of her fear and the iron fist that she's got on everyone whereas all the people outside, the villagers, are poor and are starving. This is the way she keeps control over everyone. So Mando meets the magistrate, and the quest that she's got for him is to kill the Jedi, kill Ahsoka. But the reason why he's gone to Corvus is to meet her anyway. So this is probably playing into his hands. It's an easier way to find her. But he's got no intention, I should imagine, of killing her whatsoever. And that will probably anger the magistrate, and then he'll turn against them both. But what she does is give them this spear. And the spear is made of Beskar, which is a really precious, strong material, the same as his armour. And if he kills Ahsoka, then the magistrate will give him this spear made of the same material. But I think he's got a trick up his sleeve, and he's got no intention of doing that. And the tables are going to turn, and it won't look good for the magistrate. So Mando goes off to meet Ahsoka. As he travels through the woods, the visuals are fantastic. This is something that's been consistent through, I think, through like the second season. The visuals in every single chapter have been brilliant. They've really, really brought you into it. So as Mando goes through the woods, he thinks he sees something, he senses it. But he believes then it's a false alarm, and as he does that, Ahsoka jumps out. Now, a really good fight. It's only short, but it's great. And it's interesting that the lightsabers don't work against his armour, and he manages to deflect the blows. And then he tries to get her with the flamethrower from his armour, and then he strings her up, but then it backfires. And it's a really good introduction. And the makeup on Ahsoka is fantastic. It's so good. When you think the visuals and the fight is so quick, that the makeup is so real. It's just so realistic. So Mando says to her, Bo-Katan sent me. So already he's tracked her down, which he wanted to do, and now they can discuss the plan with Bo-Katan. There's a really nice scene where the child and Ahsoka are sitting down communicating telepathically through Jedi Force. And it's lovely visual. Both of them are silhouetted out by the moon in the background. And along with the trees as well, which have been burnt out, are also darkened by the bright sky. It's a really, really clever and a powerful visual scene. Again, it's just credit to the writing and the directing of this. It's just really well. It's really sharp. It's really on point. So Ahsoka tells the Mandalorian what they've been talking about. And she talks about the past of the child. So she says that the child's name is Grogu, and it was raised at the child's temple in Coruscant. And she says whilst there, many masters trained him, and when the Clone Wars came, that he was hidden. And she then says someone took him from the temple, and after that his memory fades and becomes dark. And unsurprisingly, she says she only knows one other being similar to this, being the wise master called Yoda. So Ahsoka asks Mando, can he still use the Force? And he says to her, I've seen him do things I can't explain. So I just want to give Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka, a quick shout out. The makeup is fantastic. The acting is brilliant. She's really on point. She's really believable. She portrays the character of Ahsoka. And I only remember Ahsoka from watching the Clone Wars. And she's exactly the same, exactly how I'd imagine her to be if it was a real life character. And Dawson is brilliant, and I know her already from playing Claire Temple in Iron Fist, and mostly in Daredevil, and also in Luke Cage. She's really good. She's used to action, so there's no surprising that she's got the place as Ahsoka. So they try and test Grogu, or the child's Jedi powers. And Ahsoka gets a stone, and it's a brilliant visual of her using her Jedi Force to put the stone over to Grogu, or the child. And he catches it. And she says, right, bring it back to me. And he doesn't. He drops it on the floor. And Mando says that he's stubborn. He doesn't do as he's told. Just like most children, just like my children. She says, you try. You've got a connection. So again, he holds a stone. But Grogu is not interested. But I've got a feeling, just by the look on the child's face, that he wants that silver ball that he took off that lever earlier. And which is brilliant. It is a little bit predictable, but it's the look on Grogu's face that actually makes me believe that, which is credit to it. Yes, and just as expected, he gets the ball out and says, you can have this. And as soon as he says that, Grogu instantly, bang, that ball goes flying across and he catches it. It's so good, it's so funny. He's a cheeky little monkey. So Ahsoka says she can't train him because of the attachment that he's got to Mando, and that she's seen an attachment similar to that make people vulnerable and make it turn into anger, turn into the dark side. And we all know who she's talking about. Anakin and Padme. So a deal has been struck. Mando says, I'll help you get your guys back out of the village, out of the settlement, if you can train Grogu. So they're going to attack that village. They're going to free the people in there and they're going to take down the magistrate. They're outnumbered, outgunned. This is going to be interesting. So Ahsoka has attacked the village. She's attacked the guards on top of the tower. They were ringing the alarm and she kicked ass and she cut the alarm, as you can see, clean in half. So Ahsoka's gone into the settlement and she's facing off the magistrate and the guards and the mercenary who's been hired. There's one at the one end of the street and a group at the other end. So as she approaches the magistrate, she throws down on the floor Mandalorian's armour with a marker on it. And she says your bounty hunter's been defeated. It's a really good twist. You know, obviously he hasn't, and that he's going to come in and start to kick some major arse. So the magistrate tells everyone to kill Ahsoka. And she flies up in the air, lands on this roof, and they're shooting at her. Brilliant. She's blocking every single laser with her lightsabers. Brilliant visuals, brilliant action. It's so good. And the mercenary says, I'll go and kill her. And she says, take everyone with you, leaving her vulnerable on her own. So the wicked witch of the magistrate she is tells her 2 remaining guards to execute everyone who's on those stands, been electrocuted already, then go door to door and kill every single person. She is horrible. But fear not, the Mandalorian has just come in, he's just landed on the floor and taken out the 2 guards and kicked some major a-hole. So the guards are going through the town, trying to hunt down and kill Ahsoka. But the tables are turned. Ahsoka is on the roof. She's going down the alleys. She's using her Jedi skills to take out the guards one by one. The tension, the music before every guard is getting taken out is incredible. It's so good. It's so exciting. And the visuals, as you can see from that picture, as she kind of opens her lightsaber like a samurai sword behind these 2 guards and takes them out, is brilliant. It's really stylish and effective. So the paths cross of Mandalorian and this mercenary. There's almost a look, as you can see, of inevitability on his face of what's going to happen now he's come face to face with the Mandalorian. So the next shot is a magistrate in the garden with that spear. And as we've seen, it's made of Beskar. And when we saw Ahsoka fight the Mandalorian in the first encounter, that his armour could deflect the blows from it. So it's going to be a really good fight between the magistrate and Ahsoka, because she can use that spear to deflect any blows from the lightsabers. So it's going to be a nice equal fight. It's going to come down to ability. So as the pair are squaring up in this garden, and the garden's got a very oriental feel, so it's a real kind of a samurai battle against each other, and the tension is building as well. And this is going to be great. I think they're going to kick each other's ass completely, and this is just what I've been looking forward to. Damn, I just want to say there's only been 2 blows from the lightsabers and to the spear. And the sound effects, the noise, the sparks coming off, it's brilliant. It's got everything, this fight, and it's only just started. The choreography in this fight is brilliant. It's so quick and so smooth, and it just flows really, really well. And the effects are incredible as well. When you see the lightsabers strike against that spear, and the sparks coming from it, and the light from it shining on the faces of both the magistrate and Ahsoka, it's really effective. So outside you've got the mercenary saying to the Mandalorian, I've got no problems with you, I've got no beef with you, I don't want to have to fight you. And he also says, who do you think's winning, my side or your side? And it flashes back and forth to Ahsoka fighting back to the Mandalorian. And suddenly Ahsoka's lost a lightsaber, she's only down to 1. So Ahsoka's managed to disarm the magistrate. And in hearing that on the outside, the mercenary then says, sounds like you've won, and starts to lower his weapon. All the while, Mando's hand is on the trigger of his gun, which is holstered. So there's a great shot of Ahsoka with a lightsaber up to the throat of the magistrate. Will she succumb to the dark side and decapitate this horrible woman? So the mercenary embarrasses himself. As he lowers his weapon, he tries to draw a secondary weapon, but the Mandalorian is not stupid. If one thing he isn't, is a fool. And he unholsters his gun, old school style, western style, and takes this mercenary out. Really good. It's predictable, you knew it would happen, but nonetheless, it is brilliant. So Ahsoka asked the magistrate where Grand Admiral Thrawn was. And Thrawn is a military commander who's a leader of the Empire, who's had run-ins with Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian. He goes back to chapters like The Hand of Thrawn, and he's a really well-known character who ended up being defeated by the Rebels. I don't really know too much else about him, but I'm sure if you do, please leave comments, let me know who he is and what he's done, and probably what he's more famous for, because no doubt I've got that wrong. But I know he was a leading character quite a long time ago, back in the Jedi Order when Skywalker was around. That's what I believe anyway. But if that's wrong, please let me know. So the pair leave the settlement in a much happier place. As you can see from behind them, the villagers are there celebrating they're free. So Ahsoka tells Mando that she cannot train him, that he needs to go to the planet Tython and go to an ancient temple and place the child on this seeing stone at the top of the mountain. And whilst on that stone, if he reaches out using the Force, a Jedi may sense this and come along and actually train him. So with a new mission at hand, Mandalorian leaves in his ship, leaving Ahsoka on the planet. It's another good episode. For me personally, not as good as the previous one, where you had the TIE fighters, you had the biker scouts, you had the really good chase scene, remember. But it was great for me to see Ahsoka, a live action version. And I thought Rosario Dawson played her really, really well. She's a great actress who really just embraces the action roles. So it was great to see her. And it moves us on nicely to the next chapter, where we're going to go to what I believe is the Jedi Temple. It could be the old Jedi Temple that was in the Star Wars films that was burnt down, or it could be another one. I honestly don't know, and I'm probably wrong. But it's great. I always enjoy watching The Mandalorian. It's something I look forward to every single week and get extremely excited, as you've seen in previous episodes. Okay, remember to subscribe, remember to click on that bell and get all the notifications. I've got many other things that I've got down in a playlist and lots to come. You've got the podcast and all good podcasting platforms, the Film Reelcast. Just look at that sign on the screen now and click on subscribe to that. On tomorrow even, we are doing 1987 RoboCop. Okay, this is the Film Reelcast. I'm Stuart, your host, and thank you for watching.